What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. I will let the chat load. Just taking it easy. Just left the doctors. I'm actually getting some medicine. So I wanted to go live with you guys for a minute. A nice little evening jab. How you guys doing today? You guys hit that like button as we come in. The funniest, if you guys look at the thumbnail, the funniest story I've heard is Gervonta Tank Davis comparing himself to Canelo Alvarez. That's some funny shit. Nord Force. Sorry to hear, Kurt. Feel better. Yeah, man, I got bronchitis, man. I don't know what it is. It's like when the weather changes, or if I go somewhere real hot and then come back and it's winter here, it just does something. So I got to get some meds and get me on. They got me on a Z-Pack and shit like that. You know, I'm gonna still grind though. That's why I haven't done as many videos today. I'm gonna try to peg out some more after I eat and take all, get this medicine in me and stuff like that. And got to put you on an inhaler to open your bronchial tubes up to keep the inflammation down. So, but but no, man, I'm gonna keep grinding until I drop. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I love doing it. I love counterpunching. I love talking about the sport of boxing, the sport that I love, that I hate so much. You guys know. So I'm gonna keep going. Tony, how's it going? Get well soon, man. It's going all right. I just got this cough. It'll wake me up at night. So for the past 3 days, it's been like that. Why is Plant all of a sudden the most disliked boxer? Brendan Smith. I don't know. I didn't know he was a disliked boxer. Who's talking smack about Caleb Plant? Now I did do a Q&A on Caleb Plant making his first announcement, and it was, I seen some things I had to counterpunch, but Caleb Plant showed what he was made of, man. He went 10 full rounds, was stopped in the 11th. He was almost to the finish line, so there's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's no reason to say he doesn't belong there. Okay, so I don't agree with anybody saying, oh, well, he doesn't belong there. So, Brennan, I don't know why he's the disliked boxer. I just want to know who's talking smack about him. That's all. But yeah, man, Gervonta saying, I'm the same as Canelo. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, does this guy not know what you have to do to even be compared to Canelo? And it just, I just feel that at this point, it's so many boxers, just because they haven't lost, well, he is something like Canelo. Corey Nelson, how so? How is he something like Canelo? That's what I want to know. How? In what way? Like, it just shows me that these guys have a false sense of who they really are. And they think they're higher where they are. They think they've arrived somewhere that they're still trying to get to. And that, there's no disrespect to Gervonta Tank Davis. I think he's a very exciting fighter. So is Canelo. You can compare that, but like, other than attributes, man, and accomplishments, it's the ego speaking. Yeah, it's something like that. Or if it's not the ego, it's Mayweather. Gervonta Tank Davis, you know what? I think you're better than Canelo. I think you're on the same level as Canelo. I beat Canelo and I train you. I promote you and I beat him. That type of shit, and he's pumping his head full of that, capping. Then Gervonta Tank Davis is eating it up like Pac-Man. That's what I think that is. I think most importantly, that's someone in his ear, or it's his own ego. night fighting the top competition. Tony Thomas, when have you seen Canelo not fight the top people? Like, he's fought everybody except Manny Pacquiao. Think about it. Anybody that was from 154 to 168, he's pretty much fought except for Jamal and Andrade, right? Oh, no, I was talking about Tank. Oh, nothing like Canelo. Hard hitter, has a huge fan base. Not saying that he is Canelo, but I can definitely see him getting there. Only thing, I don't think he would fight all the best. Well, he won't get there then. You said he can definitely see him getting there. How can you ever get there if you never do the things to get there? Mario Salazar, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Blue just made a video announcing Wilder versus White, but I don't know how true it was. No, I'm going to do it as soon as I get home. I seen it, and I was going to just drop a video about it, but I wanted to take time with it because there's a lot of factors when it's dealing with White and Wilder. So, yeah, so stay tuned for that later on. But it's basically like a what if video. Not saying it's like not true, but it's a what if video. And I will clear it all up and counterpunch it the way it's supposed to be counterpunched. That would be awesome. White gets sparked. I would love to see that. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight. But back to Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis has to understand there's levels to the fight game. There's levels to this shit. If he doesn't understand that, it's sad because nobody has cared to teach him. John Williams, what's up, brother, from Cali? Counterpunch to you, bro. Cali in the house. Hold on, don't act like Canelo is not a cherry picker at times. He definitely is afraid of Andrade. Charlo shows too much respect, but Andrade, he is the one that would give Canelo problems. Has Canelo cherry picked? Of course, he's cherry picked. He's cherry picked. Now I agree with you there. He's cherry picked. You know that your Durham fight was bullshit. What is it, coyotes? You guys hear that shit? Anyway. But then it's a difference between cherry picking here and there and not fighting anybody at all, Corey. You know, and who says Andrade and Charlo? So here's the thing, Corey. Take that back when his next fight is fucking Jamal Charlo. Because that's one of the targets for him next. Mayweather Promotions is nothing without Tank. Well, Floyd has to start taking care of his fighter, but I think because if that's the case, Floyd's trying to safeguard his investment. James Kelly, welcome to Counterpunch Silver. Check out the goodies on the community. I have a lot of things set aside for members only. So James Kelly, be sure to check that out, man. Welcome to the club. Egg-shaped form. WTF. WTF what? Gervonta can start with Lopez, Garcia, and Lomachenko. Here's the thing, Jason. He can't start with anybody. Tank Davis can't move until they allow him to move. They move for him. That's a fact. Gervonta Tank Davis can't do anything. Let's hit that like button. We got over 50 people in here, and we only got 15 likes. Let's hit the like button. I know it's late. I know a lot of people are probably already asleep. But let's hit that like button. But Jason, no, he can't fight any of those guys unless they allow it to happen. You guys remember when Floyd was like, we're not gonna fight Lomachenko? Then he got pissed at Gervonta. We're gonna put him in there with Lomachenko. We're gonna put him in there with Vasil Lomachenko. Then he got cool with Gervonta when he stopped talking shit off Twitter and said, you know what? Lomachenko, nobody told him to stay in the amateurs that long. Where Tank's the future. Lomachenko, he got to fight right away. That type shit. So, Kurt, why does it seem Ward has a sustain for Canelo? I don't think he has. I just know when it comes to the division that Andre Ward was bossing, he sees right through. Like, look. Speaking like this guy Corey said, well, he cherry picks at time. I think at times Canelo at 168 and 175, the only time that he fought at 175, he picked the weakest link. So you could qualify that and label that as a cherry pick, because it's like when you fight Rocky Fielding, he's the lowest of all those guys. And then you go from Rocky Fielding, then you fight Kovalev. Kovalev already been knocked out twice. He was stopped by Andre Ward, and he was knocked out by the other Alvarez from Colombia. Okay, even though he got back, and and then he got hurt against on Anthony Yard. So it they knew, okay, Kovalev ain't the Kovalev of old, whereas the Kovalev of old, Andre Ward took him on. He took on the Crusher. This is just Kovalev the drunk. Let's be real. He's a guy that likes to drink and try to strong arm women when he's drunk. Who do you think will beat Fury? You know what? You know who will beat Fury? A random Joe. A random fighter will beat Fury. There won't be people. This is boxing, and heavyweight boxing is something special because it takes that one screw up. Rockman Lewis won. Look, even Ruiz, Joshua. Those type things happen. Made to last. Yeah, he threatened him with he threatened Tank with a Loma fight. Now I don't know how reluctant Tank was to fight him or not fight him. The choice of the matter is he couldn't do anything about anything. He couldn't pick anything. He couldn't decide anything. All you heard was Floyd. Tank Davis, he's the future. He's a cash cow. He's a new exciting fighter. We don't need other fighters. Like, when I was in the game, then that's when he's going to start talking about himself for 10 minutes. So, Joe Joyce. I mean, who knows? I don't know, man. Look, I would like to see all those fights, though. Dillian will beat him. Bear Elohim. That could be. That could happen. White, I'm going to tell everybody right now, if Tyson Fury ends up fighting Dillian White and he loses, I would not be surprised. You know what I would do? Full circle. Because what goes around always comes back around. Because everybody's going to get beat. Everybody. These guys just can't understand that you can't let Canelo put you on the back foot and walk you down. Yeah, I'm going to do a film study on Canelo Plant and Canelo Plant, because I seen and I want to show people what happened in that fight. Why did Caleb Plant get knocked out? And I'm going to prove that all. I suspect that in Fury's final fight, he will pass the torch to Big Baby Anderson. Well, Big Baby Anderson was supposed to have been the one that secretly beat the shit out of him, right? So why not? Where does Wilder go now? Wilder, he needs to heal. He needs to get back in action, and he needs to fight the right type of competition. He needs to never in life or the rest of his career give anybody any reason to ever call him a cherry pick again. James Kelly coming in, counterpunch. Ward will destroy Alvarez. James Kelly, counterpunch to you. Let me add something. Ward of old probably would have. But you got a 37-year-old Ward that's been retired 4 years. You know, time is a mother sucker, man. I mean, you know, somebody like Canelo, he's going to throw body shots. That's what he's going to do. Any heavyweight can KO any heavyweight. To a certain degree, yeah. Remember Fabio Yardley? Is it Fabio Yardley? Or Fabio Wardley? He fought, what's the quitter's name? Is it Molina? I mean, he hurt Fabio Wardley until he quit. Wilder got to retire. King KO. Wilder don't have to do shit. He needs to keep fighting. Now, if he loses again, I think he'll definitely consider it. Wilder would probably become a commentator. You know, believe it or not, Wilder did a good job on the Joshua Klitschko fight. Jason Jimenez, not Chris Bird. What about Chris Bird? Damn, I finally caught you live and got notified, in my opinion. That's good, man. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. Ward is going to gas Canelo up like he did Kessler. Molina has to stop boxing. Molina, yeah, he does need to stop boxing. Canelo not going to give Ward a fight. No, he would. Canelo would fight Ward just because he's an undefeated fighter that got out of the game undefeated. So I think there's automatic interest there. I think it's automatic interest because those undefeated fighters is something special about them. You got Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, Joe Calzaghe, you know, guys like that have been in the game, got out of the game without a loss. And I think it's a lot of people that look at that as a definite accomplishment. And Canelo, especially someone that used to be the number one pound for pound, and that was Andre Ward. So, you know, Canelo would look at that as an opportunity to give him his first his first loss, right? Lose that O, and do something that no one else had the opportunity to do. The only thing is, I don't think they would do it right. Canelo Alvarez has not been in a dangerous fight since Triple G. Daryl, you remember he's supposed to fought Lemieux back in the day, and then Lemieux went to 168. And I don't know what happened with that, honestly. I want to see Joe Joyce fight White, Ortiz, or Ruiz. I want to see anybody fight Ortiz. Fuck Ruiz, because Ruiz is bullshitting. Look, the same thing Canelo said about Ryan Garcia, he should have said about Andy Ruiz, because he's wasting time and he's a waste of talent. CP, please understand Ward will destroy Canelo right out of a 4-year retirement. James Kelly, if Andre Ward came back and did that to Canelo, Canelo's stock would go. Okay, because there would be no way that Canelo could live that down. A person that went out of the ring 4 years and he comes back and gets schooled. Nah. You seriously think Wilder will be competitive heavyweight after being slept twice? Yeah, I do. Because it's not Fury. Styles make fights. See, we're so quick to dismiss a person to the point we underestimate what a person has already done versus what a person can possibly do in the future. James Kelly, I think so. I think so. I just have a little bronchitis. I'm waiting for the prescription. But at least you see Andy Ruiz in the gym. I mean, I don't give a shit where Andy's at. Andy needs to, you see Ortiz in the gym. You know, you see a lot of people in the gym, but that don't mean anything. Philip Carl Roberts. Wow, I got notified. I hope you are well, Kurt. Big up, chat. Philip Carl Roberts, welcome, bro. Welcome back. How come the guy who beat Pacquiao isn't fighting Canelo? Which guy is that? The hell are you talking about? You talking about Ugas? Ugas is a welterweight, bro. He gonna go way up there. He has no business up there at 168. Fear resume is overrated. Yeah. New Boss, I mean, it's the same person 3 fucking times. Kurt, I told you first on your channel, Ward and Canelo fight gonna happen, and Ward not gonna take a tune-up fight. He's gonna fight straight away like Leonard did with Hagler. We'll see. We will see. Canelo didn't like the great until he caught Plant. Didn't look great until he caught Plant. Maybe he was just looking for the KO. If that was the case, he was looking for a long time. Major Key Boxing. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Hey, hell, if Ward fights him, then Floyd may as well come on back too. In my opinion, Floyd ain't doing shit. Floyd making too much money picking fights, exhibitions. I mean, $9 million fighting a smaller Japanese fighter. Tensei, he was a tough competitor, but as you can see, I can still punch, and I'm a lot bigger than him. Andrew Ruiz lacks confidence in himself. He still feels that he needs to tune up fights, but he's wasting time. Joseph, just like I said, Canelo should have said the same thing about Andrew Ruiz he did Ryan Garcia. At least Ryan Garcia is young. But even with that type of youth, that speed and the skill that Ryan has, there's no way he should be sitting around talking about this and bullshit injuries and bullshit mental health. Let's look at it this way. Mental health is like, all that is depression. People now are using mental health is like a general problem. I mean, what kind of fucking mental health? What's going on? You have anxiety, mental health. You're depressed, mental health. What's going on? It's a lot of different mental health issues. But you need for people like I won't believe the next motherfucker that says I have mental health issues. I won't. Because if they use that term, that means they just have to use that term and they didn't get specific. And if they went to a doctor, the doctor would tell them, well, doctors don't say shit like you have bad mental illness. No, it don't work that way. I have a mental health, Kurt. Okay, but what is your mental health problem? If you don't mind me asking. It's either depressed, insomnia. It's all like, depression. What's up, kid from Fresno, California? Versus Crazy 497. Counterpunch to you. Who would win between a prime Andre Ward and Canelo? I don't know. I know Ward is a lot bigger, but Canelo's used to fighting guys a lot bigger. Look what he did to Danny Jacobs. I thought that was going to be a much better fight. I mean, I'm pretty sure we all have some sort of mental health issues. I'm fucking dyslexic, I know that. But, that's a mental fucking issue. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's worse than others. Just messing. It's mental issues that's too broad of a topic for a motherfucker. Tyson Fury used it. Nobody else should have used that shit. When I'm depressed, I smoke some bomb bud. Well, that's mental health. You're depressed. I just think people don't like to use that because it's like, okay, well, I was depressed. They now we're trying to be PC. Oh, well, it's mental health. It's like you can't call nobody a crackhead. You just gotta know, brother, where's your Infinite. What's your you got to empathize with me, right? What's your empathy? You got to call it a substance abuse problem now. Fury had a diagnosis. Okay, fair enough in my opinion. Did Ryan? I saw that video when Jacobs ran up to Charlo, and ever since then I lost respect for Charlo. Yeah, he was just really calling him out on the money that he made and what he wanted to do, and you know, Ryan just has depression. Okay, he just should have said that, man. I'm depressed right now. Mental illness. Like, stop. That sounds like a cop out. You know, and better yet, it's like, better yet, dude, don't even talk. Like, hey, I have a personal problem. I have personal issues at the moment. You know? Hello, folks. Kokomo, Indiana. Here, anyone else in the Indiana area? Josh Sotz, Counterpunch to you. Fury just couldn't take the pressure of being the unified heavyweight champ. He ran away for 3 years. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think he couldn't handle the pressure. He might want to say, hey, I have nothing to live for. But I'm like, dude, you just got there. And I think somebody needs to explain to Tyson Fury, though, that when you get the heavyweight crown, that is just the beginning. It's not the end. Someone has convinced this man that when you get the belt, it's almost like winning the Olympics. It's not the same. Winning the Olympics that's over. Okay, every 4 years someone wins Olympic gold, silver, and bronze. Right? So whoever wins those, that's what it is. That's Olympics, not professional. When you become a professional champion, world champion, then it's time for you to show how good of a champion you are by taking on the best fighters. And that's the problem with fighters that never really respected or earned anything. Tyson Fury didn't earn an opportunity with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder accepted that fight because Tyson Fury called him out because he thought that shit was going to be easy. He says Tyson Fury can't punch, and shit, when his last knockdown, he was probably still claiming that he still can't punch. Well, if he can't punch, that means, damn it, you can't take a punch. That means you chinny. If he sits there and say he still can't punch, that means that you can say Deontay Wilder as admitting that he has no chin. Which, you know how I feel about that. It's heavyweights. Everybody can get laid out. Ryan Garcia is a YouTuber. Yeah. He's a social media guy. Made AMC shares and make a hell of a lot of money. Dude, I work for not AMC. It's actually A&E. You got to start paying me for them videos, Kurt. You my nephew, but no freebies. He said Uncle C. Yeah, I guess I hear you. You right, Kurt. When you undisputed, everybody's coming after you. Well, I mean, Mike, that's the beginning. It's not the end. Fury went up to 200 stone and took drugs and drank himself silly for no reason at all, as you do. Well, I'm to believe, really, that maybe he couldn't handle. I think maybe when he upset Klitschko, I think Fury, I think the accomplishment gave him anxiety, which is a sort of mental illness, and I think the anxiety he couldn't handle. A lot of people can't handle success like that, in that form. Even winning the Olympics is the beginning, because there's higher expectations for you. Well, yeah, but then there's no guarantee that you're gonna go to pro if you make the Olympics. You could, normally people do, but the Olympics is one thing. That's the pinnacle. You know, yeah, people are gonna expect when you do go pro. But let's say you fight amateurly and never go pro. Look at all those Cuban fighters over there. That was their end because that was the pinnacle. Amateur boxing. That was their pinnacle. And what's probably depressed them and makes them drunks because they see the same bastard they knocked out. Now he's walking around with MTB cribs and shit with 5, 6 vehicles, gold chains and shit. Fury was lucky. The most lucrative American heavyweight cherry picked him. That's true. That is absolutely true. Because if it wasn't for that, he should have fought. He could have fought Ortiz, but he could have fought someone like Charles Martin. He could have fought someone like Dillian White. That fight should have been before any of that shit. Chickarelli, counterpunch to you. Do I plan on seeing any fights? Yeah, I do. As soon as we wrap. And that'll be next month. What do you think of Jaron Ennis? I think Jaron Ennis is a big guy. And I think he's ready to kick some ass, and I want to see what he's made of when someone challenges him, when he comes up to adversity. I feel bad for Rolly. He really thought that he was going to get that fight with Tank. But, I mean, if they thought that there was any danger of him losing to a guy like that, that would destroy him. People would look at Tank Davis, man, you ain't shit that we knew you wouldn't shit. They would talk about that boy. I can hear you see Floyd. Take his ass out to fight. Fuck that. Take his ass out to fight. He fight who I want him to fight. I don't want him to fight there no more. He doesn't plan to go 12 fights. 12 round fights. No plan B. 5 fights a month would be great. People diss on AJ, but the guy got those belts one after another. He didn't even just take them from one person. No, he didn't. But I mean, that's one of the reasons why Wilder should have fought him. All he had to do was fight him and become undisputed. That's all he had to do. Take the 12 million or the 15 or whatever the fuck he was offered, took that money, beat Joshua, then you would have to do it again. Henry Gomez, que lo que hola. Had to be something because Rolly didn't even have a case. I don't know what was going on with that. I mean, that might have just been a publicity build up to make you think something's going to happen and it wasn't even going to ever happen. So we'll never know. PBC protects their fighters too much. Yeah. And they act like they're the only ones in the world too. Imagine Big Baby Miller fights Fury and wins. That would be funny. Beats the shit out of Fury. All in America, baby. See, been me, I'd have had all them damn fights. Wilder would have fought White. Joshua would have fought Wilder. Fury would have fought Joshua. Parker would have fought Joe Joyce. I would have had them all, baby. I'd have had every one of them, baby. Sign the dotted line. We'll fill in the rest later. Looking forward to Porter and Crawford. Me too. Yeah, it's time to pick up my stuff. All in America, baby. Y'all can say what y'all want to about me, but I make these motherfucking fights that people want to see. Not all this bullshit, Oscar De La Hoya. I think he been hitting the head too much, baby. Did too much dope. Because I make them and I give them all hope. Because I'm Don King, all in America, baby. Let me mask up. Touch me and I sue you. Touch me, Nasuki. Plant got to go to C3G or Charlo Brothers or Jacobs. Man, I don't want it to be. I got Crawford beating Porter, but in a tough fight. Because see, it's Porter, I think, is his last chance. I think he doesn't have another chance to shine like that. Because, he's went up against Keith Thurman. He's went up against Errol Spence in very tough fights. Nobody has stopped him. He's gave everyone hell. Yeah, Don King, he is still promoter of a heavyweight American champion. The WBA regular. What's your IG, Kurt? Is DeVille Kurt? Kind of slow today, huh? They kind of backed up. Glenn is going to come back better. Josh Stotts, I hope so. I hope he does what he needs to do. But what would have made him so much respectful and his stock would have been up? Yeah, I'm in CVS. That's where the medicine is sent. Plant got a break at 21 fights to get that 10 million. In my opinion, if Plant don't fight again, he cannot say it wasn't for money. Let me say that one more time. If Plant never fights again, he cannot say it wasn't for the money. Because see, sometimes a big check like that ruins fighters. Search and destroy. It's all good, man. I'm going to get better. Counterpunch. Plant did better than Billy. Plant did do better than Billy. Billy just threw a right hook and ran into another right uppercut and got his face smashed. But see, understand this. Why do you think Andy Ruiz ain't fighting? Because money destroyed that man. I'm going to do another video on Andy. The destruction of money. I mean, you think about it. Andy Ruiz has not fought. He fought once, and that was with a cherry pick, so-called, and he had the fight of his life against Chris Arreola. He is not the same guy. You might want to blame it on his weight and all that. That might not have anything to do with it. It's his desire. He doesn't want to get hit because he's not hungry. If he still has a few $1 million in the bank, he's not going to be as hungry as he has none. Okay? He didn't have no M's. You go from not having one M to having 6 or 7. Then on top of having another 13. He even looks different. He doesn't want it like that.
Sometimes you.
Yes, ma'am. Gluttony. Decadence was his downfall. Yeah, Michael J., I'm going to tell you, it's just a lack. You think about it. I mean, you bought your mom a house. He bought a new house. He got a tattoo on his ass. Come on, man. He looking like a boxer. He looking like a biker. He ain't looking like a boxer. He's pushing him to be better, but I mean, results are results. You know? I mean, it just happened.
Cashier to the front of the store. Cashier
Callum
to the
Smith
front of the
did
store.
better than Plant.
Do you think I want to do this? Do you think I want to run left and right? Wait, do you want me to? You think I want to run left and right and do 3 things at the same time? You think I choose to do that? No, honestly, you think I choose to do that?
You choose to be a pharmacist.
Okay, so you think I choose to do 3 things at the same time?
I don't see the correlation here. What I'm asking you to say. You can be a pharmacist all the time. No, I mean, because every time I get like angry and I listen to 2-3 hours,
I'm making comments like that.
I just want to hate to interrupt, but I come here every week. These two and Mickey bust their asses. And if it weren't for them, then none of us would have our stuff. So we should be thanking them for going to work because half of everybody else.
Live 2 3 hours for
Well, I should 2 or 3 lines on the phone, but don't do that.
Thank you for at least understanding. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But you don't have to. Just let me know when you let the prescription out. So,
we have to go
yes. What's the date of birth on this one?
May 24th.
Yeah. Kurt throwing a floating rib shot, I know, right? Billy Joe just got his skull caved in. Plant got KO'd. Callum Smith did better.
That's okay too. May 24th. Why don't you tell CBS? Why are you taking it out of us? With the only two people working there. Why are you taking it out of us?
You are the face of CBS for me.
Okay, so do I look like the highest people? Corporate does that. Do you think I want to do 5 things at the same time? You think this is fun for me?
I don't know. I went to many pharmacies and
That's fine. I will fax it. Fax it on the floor. I will fax it.
Ego blocked me for suggesting Ward take a tune-up. Yeah, well, I mean, he's gonna block you with anything, though. It's boxing ego. He has an ego.
Sorry. It's just frustrating because they're the only ones ever here.
Water was still wobbling as he was stepping out of the ring after the fight. Yeah, he was hurt. He got punched. When you get punched, you wobble a bit. That's what happens. Let's see, Caleb Smith did not do better. He was just there not to take risks. Well, he was a big guy. He was the bigger guy, but I don't think he was the most talented. And Canelo was a lot smaller, but he did what he had to do. He basically did what he wanted to do. You know, I know, right? Triple X, that's definitely the truth. I disagree. Plant was Canelo's toughest fight since Triple G. He landed over 100 punches. Stephen Bamber, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. He said half of Canelo's opponents are his fans. Paul Meadows, how we doing, Mr. Kurt? Respect, just tuned in. Night shift from the UK. Man, we're doing pretty good, man. Just trying to knock out some bronchial tubes. Problem. Caleb didn't use his size advantage on Canelo. No, he didn't. Did you hear Charlo sounded like a fan? He did, didn't he? Didn't he? Everyone fighting Canelo retires. Well, if he blesses him with a big check, I mean, that's pretty much what, you look at it, they're boxers, right? And they know they're going to get the biggest check of their career. And what they do is they weigh, hey, how much money would I make past Canelo, being beat by Canelo? What chance will I have again to make this type of money? If it's slim to none, they're going to get out of the game. And again, that may be Andy Ruiz's problem. He just don't want it no more. If he wanted it, he would not have dug Luis Ortiz. He would have took him, or he'd have fought Dillian White. He didn't do any of that. You fought Chris Arreola, and Chris Arreola was the guy that we didn't want you to fight at all. That was a head scratcher. I'm like, Dave, really? Jerome Benjamin, salute Big Kurt and the members of the congregation. Jerome Benjamin, counterpunch to you. Tired of this day. I know, right? Plant didn't even win 4 rounds, and he was on the bike with an occasional jab. Hey, he was able to land that jab, though. You couldn't take away his jab. So, look at it that way. So AJ was going to big against a naturally big Farmer Miller to negate the weight advantage, but at his risk of losing stamina, do you think Miller could have upset him? Joseph E. Anything could have happened. We probably would have had a new heavyweight unified champion. We haven't had one of those in a long time. Wilder don't count. He was only the WBC. What do you think about Benavidez versus Plant? San Diego in the house. First of all, Daniel, San Diego, salute. Um, I would like to see it. Let those guys fight each other and let Charlo, since Charlo's the champion, let him fight Canelo. But then he has to vacate his belt if he's going to 168. Plant won 5 out of 4 in my book, but he got TKO'd. I mean, he won more than 3 rounds, man. I give him more than that. I heard Fury had a 6-hour surgery after the last Wilder fight. Yeah, that's what I heard. Hey, chick, no problem, man. Plant will never be a world champion again. Charlo would KO Plant in 2. I like to see it though. I would like to see it. I know Charlo is a big boy. Triple X, Triple X, 175. That's his cap. I don't see him going to cruiserweight. It's too short.
And off like that. I just really,
So light heavy is pretty poor, to be honest. Hence Caleb Smith leaving super middleweight to join the light heavyweight instead.
That's every day.
Every day.
Is Nietzsche gone?
No, she
She's
had
on
a vaccine
vacation.
clinic today.
She what?
She had a flu clinic.
Oh, okay.
I can see Canelo doing well at cruiser. I don't know. Tank should tell Canelo to fight Charlo if Canelo wants to tell other fighters who to fight. I guess. Yeah, Canelo does spar with Frank, but that's a difference. You don't want to. That's. Hold on, guys.
Hodges, what up? Counterpunch in the chat. LDB salute. What's up, D Hodges? Counterpunch to you. Those 100 punches did even affect Canelo. He just seemed to be bullying his time or buying his time. Well, he was waiting for the right shot. But he was slick. Caleb was slick though. I'd prefer Wilder versus White than Fury versus White. To be honest, I think that fight will either prove that Wilder's a hater right or totally wrong. I'm with you on that. I do want to see White and Wilder. I mean, I think they have more of a vested interest in the WBC. Tyson Fury was just the guy that came along and stole it. AJ Boxing C. AJ Boxing Community, salute to you. Salute to you. I don't find Wilder exciting. Well, you know, it was an exciting fight the other month. Did you see Maris Burgess call out Canelo? He made a poster. No, I didn't. Sometimes I feel bad for a cruiserweight division. It's like no one gives a shit about them. I mean, the same, Joseph, the same for Bridgerweight. You know, they just stole a lot of the heavyweights that are smaller. That's the only difference. That's the only difference.
Cashier to the front of the store. Cashier to the front of the store.
If I was Wilder, I'd knock Joe Joyce out. He's slow. That would be one, man. I would like to see that fight too. You know, to give him a good shot at knocking out Joyce, because he's slow, just like Dominic Brazil. Samuel, big hi from New Zealand. Hope you're all good. Great fight on weekend. Canelo versus Plant. I'm gonna go with Bud. Daniel Hernandez, I'm gonna go with Bud. Damn good comparison, Kurt. Counterpunch to you. Well, I mean, Joe Joyce is strong at all. But any strong man can get knocked out, especially slow in molasses in the wintertime. Yeah, get this. They don't have it. They don't know. They never heard of my name. And I'm like, okay, he called it in. So. Joyce earned as a fan after the DDD fight. Had to eat Mad Crow. Yeah. Hell yes. At catch weight. Joyce. Yeah, Joe Joyce did that, and I picked Joyce to beat Daniel Dubois. The problem with Daniel Dubois, he was blowing guys out that you never heard of. Nathan Garman was the only person that was worth a shit. So, I think at the end of the day, I think as soon as he got with somebody that could withstand that punch, because it's not all about knocking people out. See, anybody could get knocked out, but that doesn't mean that everybody will get knocked out, or you can knock anybody out. Spencer Ennis, I don't know. I mean, Ennis is another guy that I feel that he will probably get dicked around. Because, I mean, the problem is, wait a minute, let me see. Yeah, this is some weird shit. Hold on a second, guys. Now I gotta hawk down drugs. Dubois needs to gain more experience to add done nothing for. Hold on a second. What's up, word of the day? Plant versus Benavidez. Be a good fight. Plant has experience with Canelo. To lean back. Carl Froch versus Triple G. Who would win? I think Triple G was. I think Carl Froch was more talented, but I think Triple G would beat him just because he's tougher. And we've seen Carl Froch hurt. We've seen him in the Jermaine Taylor fight. We've seen him in the Andre Ward fight. You know, he can be hurt. I don't know what happened here. Hi.
There's no one?
I don't see anybody yet.
Goodness, I hope they're not closed.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to walk in if you did.
I'm
Oh, there you go.
kidding.
All right. So we saw an accidental drama because it wasn't even at CVS. We damn near saw a fist fight between a pharmacist and a pissed off patient or customer, right? Because that wasn't the case at all. So here we go. Take your chat show to work. Amazing, Kurt. Damn right. I do that all the time. I counterpunch wherever I go.
This lady comes in. She was like, "Are they closed?" I'm like, "I don't think so." She was like, "Well, I'm not leaving." I'm like, "Damn." Paul Meadows, respect to you, brother. Giving Canelo the second fight I can live with, but fight number one, no way. Well, that's the problem. If you have to give someone something, that's going to always be the problem. Well, I'm looking for my medicine that that they gave me. Like, they gave me some a Z-Pack and all that shit, and some cough syrup, and it's supposed to help with my coughing and shit like that. So for lately, the last few years, man, I've been like, every time the weather changes, I get like bronchitis of some sort, and it sucks. Mr. DeVille, big up yourself, my brother. Bless up from Costa Rica. Pura vida. And keep on counterpunching. Alberto Salas. Pura vida, pura vida. Counterpunch to you. Would you fancy for Wilder to fight next year? Of course. Why the hell would he pull a Andy Ruiz and not fighting the whole year? That ain't what you're supposed to do. See, one thing you can say about Wilder and Fury, at least they fought each other last year. You know what I mean? You can't say shit about Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz didn't fight nobody he didn't fight anybody the whole year of 2000. He took that shit off. Now, wouldn't you think he would have had a surgery that supposed to have been needed for the last 3 years? Don't you think he would have done that shit while he was off? While he was lying about fights and shit? The money wasn't there. Dillian White, Eddie Hearn's a liar. That wasn't real. It wasn't there. I'm sorry, but it wasn't there. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Now, mostly, if you put a mask on before going into a place, that's mostly the sign you're about to rob the fucking place, right? It's wild world we're in. Any remnants of the vid $19, I don't know what that is. Ruiz is off with an injury now. Get the fuck out of here. That motherfucker, first it was his knee, now it's this dude. I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
How you doing?
Well, Blaine Walker, I'm getting that way against him. I mean, I got a lot to counterpunch tonight. Because, I mean, I didn't even know that. Send me the link to that, if you will, that he's hurt his elbow. How are you feeling? You 100? No, I'm not. More like 70, 68. If I'll be a test, I would be failing. Well, guess what? No. You got music playing in the background, so I don't want to get flagged because you can't hear too much of that shit, especially as loud as it is. So, no, it's crazy, man. So I've been sitting here an hour, 9 minutes, went to the wrong place, and they still haven't got it done. I'm gonna be like, oh boy, why don't you just hire somebody else? Why don't you just hire somebody else? It's crazy, man. Egg-shaped form. If you think George Foreman, you can frame Wilder as being very dangerous to the remaining heavyweights. He fought the best guy and lost. We don't know. We don't know if Tyson Fury is the best guy. Like those three guys. That's the perception. It's not the reality. The reality is those three guys. Tyson Fury was out for 3 years. Wilder fought bums. Joshua fought pretty much some of the best guys, but he got beat by a random guy because he was fighting the best guys. Okay, and you can overlook anybody and have a bad night at the office. I get it, but those guys, from you beating Wilder that fought no one, that doesn't make you the best. King KO, I think Usyk beats Fury because I don't think he'll be in shape to deal with the movement of Usyk. I don't. Skrilla 50, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I don't believe Fury's the best. He certainly hasn't proved it yet. I mean, you beat the same guy 3 times, dude. And then you look how much flack Wilder used to get. And then when Tyson Fury beats him, he's like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing we've ever seen. He's the best ever." I'm like, whoa. That don't make him the best. That's just one fight. And then you do that fight 3 times. That's just the same fighters fighting 3 times. What does that warrant him being the best? Did he fight AJ? Did he fight Ruiz? Has he fought Usyk? Did he fight White? Did he fight Joyce? Did he fight any fucking body else? Come on now. We got to be real about that. Who did he fight? What up from Los Angeles? Who you got Benavidez winning this weekend? I hope so. They have to give some kind of Canelo challenge. David has those fast hands. He has those fast hands, man. Khan, look at those as common opponents. AJ fought a 40-year-old Klitschko and almost got knocked out before he got stopped. Klitschko fought Fury in 2015 and couldn't lay a glove on him. Okay, so that was less than 2 years, right, Khan? That was less than 2 years. So if you want to talk about fighting someone old, um, 38 is not young, bro. So both of those guys, to be fair, fought Klitschko at the ass end of his career because that was the only next fight that he had before he retired, and he got retired. Yeah, he put hands on him, but I mean, AJ wasn't there to outbox him. AJ was there to knock him out. So somebody got knocked out. And I think the same merit you should look at the Klitschko Joshua fight is the same merit that you're looking at the Fury Wilder fight, the last one. Soldier, I'm in CVS. They got music playing, so I mute it from time to time. Yeah, they're finishing. They're finishing up on
Sir,
me.
what's your name again?
I didn't think Cunningham was bigger than Usyk. No, I mean they're the same height. 6'3". They were 6 foot 3 inches. And Cunningham laid Tyson Fury down. Don't get me wrong, Usyk could be all that. We will have to see because I'm still not convinced of him at a heavyweight. I don't know why you're not, dude. If he took punches from AJ, he can take punches from any other fighter. Come on now. You guys act like AJ's a damn pillar puncher. Do you see Usyk's face? It ain't like he didn't get hit. It wasn't like he was just. Yes, he showed class. He showed boxing ability. He showed a lot of different dynamics in there. Okay, so he can take a licking and keep on ticking, and he don't stop. So I don't see how you don't see that. Oh, this is cool. They got like alcohol testers. I believe it depends on which version of Fury we see. If he is in the shape he was in the first Wilder 2, then I think Usyk will have a harder time. Okay. Exactly. He was able to take punches from Joyce. Philip Carl Roberts kind of punch to you. That's true. Well, hey, I would like to see the rematch. We got to see what Joshua brings to the table. We have to see how Usyk implements and adjusts to that. And if he's able to do that, watch out for the rest of those guys because they're going to have some problems from Usyk. You know what I mean? You see, Usyk is like 34. He doesn't have time to fuck around. He has to get in there and he has to do exactly what he needs to do. And he's damn near done it all. He's exactly where AJ almost was. He's almost undisputed champion. So remember that. He fought one fight to get the belts, or the majority of the belts from one person. So he's going to have every intention of trying to go in there and do what he needs to do. Evening vibes. What up, Kurt? Capital 2 times. Kind of punch to you, brother. But let me get out of here, man. I'm going to get this prescription and everything. Then I'm going to go eat. Then I'm going to do a couple videos for you guys. Thank you guys for coming in. Of course, please subscribe. And everybody on the chat has been counterpunched. Peace.